Hey there, everybody. All right. Welcome to the welcome to the live stream. I meant to go get something to drink, but that's the only thing that I didn't bring back with me here. So, my apologies if I sound kind of a little off here. Just doing a quick stream here for a little bit. I did release a brand new episode over on 539. So if you haven't checked it out, make sure to either head over there and watch that, and then come back. Let me know what you think. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you watched it and enjoyed. Hey there, Pam. Welcome. So yeah, just figured I'd hop on since YouTube doesn't like to send out notifications anymore. I figured I'd be my own notification service tonight and just kind of hang out here for a little bit. I don't know how long I'm going to be on. Probably about at least an hour or so, and yeah. So if anybody has any questions, let me know about any other episodes. If you're checking out the episode on another tab or whatever your method may be, make sure, like I said, if you do like the video, give it a thumbs up and consider leaving a comment and letting me know what you think. So, but yeah, quite an interesting episode. Again, another Egyptian type of discovery. We've discovered a few different pyramid style mausoleums before. Some of them were, sorry, catching up on comments here. Yeah, yeah. A lot of these places are just because they're so unusual. Well, not unusual. They used to be kind of popular at a certain point in American history. There was a lot of interest in Egyptian culture, and so a lot of people liked to get different things like that. But I would say by and far what I find the most is the pyramid mausoleum. So, yeah, to find the Sphinx was pretty cool. So yeah, again, if you haven't watched it, make sure to check that out over on the 539 Productions channel first, and then let me know what you think. Hey there, Gary. Welcome to the live stream. Doing kind of a short, earlier stream tonight. Again, I'm not really even sure how YouTube's going to treat this. I made such a generic title that I have a feeling that the algorithm is not going to treat me well tonight, but that's fine. I'm not really worried about it too much. I figured at the very least I'd catch a few people who might want to check it out, and maybe that would help out a little bit. Egyptomania, there you go. You killed all your plants, well that's no fun. Yeah, they can be tricky depending on what kind you have. Some are easier than others. But it's really about adequate lighting and the correct amount of water, usually. And then, of course, some people forget to feed too. So it's like after a certain amount of time, your soil's not going to have any more food in it. So it's going to kill the plant off. So always remember to fertilize. That's a key part of indoor gardening and outdoor gardening. So make sure you do that. So yeah. I really have no plans, to be honest. I didn't come on here with any ideas other than just hang out for a little bit and in Mr. Bill's voice. There you go. But yeah, just hang out and see what the few of you that have watched it think, and anybody else that hasn't watched it. Again, make sure you check that out over on the 539 Productions channel. I'm assuming that most of you have been here before. I don't think at this point right now YouTube is really advertising to many people. Although we do have a few people that have said that they've found me first through the second channel here and the live stream. So occasionally it does work, I guess. I don't really know. And they're always kind of updating things, so I'm not really ever sure what's going on with the algorithm and whatnot. So, but we'll keep giving it a shot. Hey there, Amanda. Welcome to the live stream. Forgot to put my glasses on. Sorry. It might be a little bit more difficult for me to read the comments for a little bit here. I'll have to go. Yeah, I'll have to go grab them here in a second. No. Well, yeah, I don't know anything about it. It might be a hard one, but I know there's plenty of YouTube videos on it, so they could probably guide you through. Found me through 539. Well, that's cool, John. Yeah, I think that's pretty much most people's experience. This channel is so much smaller, and I don't use it quite as much. So I'm going to be trying to do the live streams more often, but I'm trying to just do stuff that is going to work and be interesting. So I'm not sure so far. It does seem like people do like the command center streams, but I think by and large the travel streams are a lot more popular even than the plant streams. I have a few fungus gnats that have come out as something new, and they're like swarming my face. Hopefully they'll fly into the pitcher plant here and be taken care of, because it's starting to irritate me. But that's the occasional risk you take when you pick up new plants. I got something new. It was about to die. I found it on a clearance rack at one of the big box stores. And so I realized that it wasn't really dying. It was just that it was wilting from lack of water. And so they had marked it like 60% off or something like that. It was like originally like a $10 plan. I think I got it for like, I can't remember. I want to say it was like $3 because I don't think it was only 50% off, but it's a cool fern, and it's really awesome. But it was like really about, it was like about like to the point where it was going to start having a lot of die off, and it really hasn't had much die off at all. And it's a cool little plant. It's not that hard to care for. So it was just kind of sad that I wasn't really intending to pick up anything that day. But I ended up picking up that and I caught my asparagus fern, which is right next to it. But I picked up that and another euphorbia that is similar to the other one that I got, the cactus bones euphorbia, but it has slightly larger leaves and has a little bit more of a purpley reddish hue to it. But I'll have to maybe grab that here in a little bit. But so yeah. But anyway, if you're enjoying the stream, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, if you're on other social media, if you're on Twitter or if you're on Facebook, make sure to give it a share. If you're into that sort of thing, you can share it to your feed, and it'll help the stream grow more organically, unlike through the algorithm. Did I say hi to Shauna? Hey there, Shauna. Old schools were spooky. Oh, I don't know much about mushroom growing kits. I've heard they're pretty cool, though. Oh, I was about to set that up so that it doesn't do that, but I got distracted. I've heard really good things about them. And I think it's a really interesting way to get, especially types of mushrooms that aren't native to your area, because they're not incredibly hard to grow. So you can get like, like things that are a little bit more rare, like morel, or I'm not a big mushroom person. I don't know a lot of varieties, but you can get stuff that are as good for like some forms of. I don't agree with all natural medicine ideas, but like some forms of mushrooms are supposed to be pretty good for your health, like the lion's mane and things like that. And yeah, it's a good way to do that, and a lot of them are really good tasting as well. So it's Yeah, I definitely support it. I have not tried it as of yet, but I have searched for the kits before, and I did find a bunch of them on Amazon. And there's a few different types too that are interesting, especially if you live in a warmer climate. There's some outdoor kits where they have like inoculated like wood mulching with mushrooms, and you sort of spread it around like your vegetables and things like that, and then the mulch will help keep in the moisture, and it'll also grow the mushrooms, and so you'll get like a double crop. So they say it's supposed to be pretty good with tomatoes and things like that, which makes a bit of sense. Tomatoes have historically been used in horticulture type situations, and were kind of historically used by a lot of Native Americans. You hear like the dish succotash, and that really kind of came from the, I believe, the Cherokee growing style, which was to plant, it was corn, beans, and tomatoes together, I think it was. And I think sometimes a few other plants, there's other variations and things. And they sort of support each other, and that the beans and tomatoes can grow up the corn and use it as a growing post, and the lower leaves on the beans and the tomatoes can prevent moisture loss from the ground below, and so it helps the corn to grow even in lower rain situations. So it's a kind of an interesting way to farm that was done long before European settlers came around and did just the what is it, the is it monoculture, whatever, the growing a single crop over a huge amount of land, which is actually really really bad for the land. It ends up, that's why you see like corn and soybean fields switch every once in a while. It's because the corn eventually just uses up all the nutrients, and the same thing with the soybean, and then they have to switch it, and it sort of rejuvenates, and then occasionally they have to give the land a break. Yeah, it would be. Yeah, that Canada might be out of the question in terms of outdoor, at least during the winter. But yeah, but yeah, I would think that one of the indoor kits would be kind of interesting too. I think they're super easy. You pretty much you get like a mushroom uh, infused substrate, like often I think it is like soybeans, or sometimes it's like rice or whatever, and then it already has like the mycelium in there that have I think partially started to grow, and then you pretty much just take a knife and like cut like holes in it, from what I understand, and then the mushrooms kind of spring forth from there, and yeah, I've seen people do it, but I've never bought one of the kits. But yeah, they're not too super expensive, and you can get them through Amazon. You can get a lot of different interesting varieties that have really amazing flavor. And if you've only ever tasted like the small variety of mushrooms that are available at like the grocery store, then it's definitely worth your while to try it out. But yeah, I've never actually tried it. I've really been wanting to, but now that I have so many areas with grow lights and things, I might have to give it a shot. Yeah, yeah, it'd be very similar. The Yeah, you can do mushrooms on sawdust, and I mean any substrate like that. But yeah, wood especially is pretty good, because that's what a lot of mushrooms grow on in the wild. So yeah, it'd be kind of interesting. I don't know. Maybe I'll try it one of these days and make some videos about it. But I wouldn't even know where to put them at this point. I'd have to make a brand new channel, because I'm definitely not going to put them on the 539 Productions channel. Yeah, sink would probably be a good place. It'd be definitely a moist environment. The only thing I'd be worried about is contamination, possibly. But other than that, like, yeah, I would think that'd be a really good place to do it. So, but yeah, anybody new here that is just tuning in, as the title suggests, there's a new episode over on 539 Productions, so make sure you go check it out. You can stay with us by opening a new tab or head over there and come back. Let me know what you think. If you do like it, make sure you give it a thumbs up and a comment. Would appreciate it. It definitely helps. Some people don't think it helps, but it actually does. I've done the math, and there is a difference. So, yeah, but other than that, like I said, I don't really have many plans. If anybody had any questions about old episodes or new episodes or in between or other travels or future travels or new projects or whatever it might be, let me know. I again, I'm just hopping on to hang out for a little bit while I have some downtime here in between editing new stuff that'll start coming out Tuesday. Like I said, we're going to be doing Tuesday, Saturday for the foreseeable future. So no matter if you get a notification or if you don't get a notification, make sure to check on Tuesdays and Saturdays. I'm trying to get a specific time too. I'm trying to do like probably about 11 o'clock. I think I've said this before, so if I'm repeating it for anybody, I do apologize. But I'm trying to do like an 11 o'clock on Tuesday, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every single time is Eastern Standard Time here in the U.S. So if you need to do a conversion, you can hop on Google and just ask it to convert it. It'll convert it right over to your local time. But 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the U.S. on Tuesday. And then we'll probably do like just a straight up 8 a.m. On Saturday, so that, pretty much, except for a few people, right when you wake up, there's an episode waiting for you there. And if there's enough people that really want it out earlier, I can do that. But I feel like that's a pretty happy medium. And then as we go through the different time zones, people will wake up and see the new episodes, and or maybe it'll be in the middle of the day for you, depending on what part of the world you're in. But yeah, so just expect Tuesdays and Saturdays. I said 11 a.m. Tuesday, 8 a.m. Saturday, Eastern Standard Time here in the U.S. And if well, yeah, it is Google, but if YouTube does not send you a notification, just expect it to be there anyway. That way we don't have any confusion from here on out on whether or not there's an episode. Like I said, we've got about 2 months left of episodes that I have from the few trips that I've taken recently, and I'm going to be heading out here over the next few weeks and getting a few months more worth of episodes here locally, and then probably heading out on the road again to do more further out stuff. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of content. There's not going to be a lot of breaks. So if you're, again, not getting the notifications on your phone or whatever device you're using, just head on over to either the channel through the app or through youtube.com/539productions in your browser, and it should tell you right there, what's available on the channel. So yeah, just in case anybody's wondering, and I get new comments all the time saying that YouTube's not notifying them of new episodes, so, and it's not coming up on their homepage, and it's not being suggested to them at all. So obviously YouTube's in need of some assistance, and so that's what we're just going to do. I know I've been trying to make that happen for a while, but it's been taking a bit of time to go out there and get things filmed and get things prepared and edited, and also at the same time looking towards the future and seeing what projects I'm going to try next. That's very interesting, John. Yeah, that's kind of what the 539 channel focuses around, is those little old graveyards that are kind of out in the middle of nowhere. And also, at times, the bigger mausoleums and things like that. And hoping here to get some older stuff as we move forward. Maybe get out towards the East Coast a little bit more and check out some of the more 1700s ish and 1600s ish locations out there. And I think that'd be really kind of interesting because there's so many, so much more that's been built up over there for so much longer. So it'd be really cool to get a glimpse at that side of America. So, but I'm not sure exactly a time frame on anything like that. Like I said, I do have some plans that I'm slowly making. I'm hoping to find some people that are local to the area that might be able to help me out. Some of the East Coast people that I might be able to collaborate with that could get access to certain locations that I've found through research that I think would be really amazing. And so, but I think it might be kind of hard to get into some of these places. So I'm not positive how long it's going to take me. What's the worst thing I've found? Probably caved in vaults and things like that. A lot of stuff out in the country is pretty close to being, destroyed completely. A lot of it's sinking into the ground. And like I said, the one place I was at, there was a pretty big family vault section that either heavy winds or a tornado or something else had pushed over this giant headstone and had toppled into the vault below. So, yeah, that was kind of sad. But, I mean, there's so many that I find that are just nearly completely destroyed that it's hard to really rate any one individual site. But yeah, that's one of the main ones that I think about. Some of the other ones are when I've found like headstones and things that have been long since swallowed by trees when they were young, and then eventually the trees grow old and topple over and expose the fact that there's like, 3 or 4 headstones underneath that have been hiding there for who knows how long. And so it's kind of sad. It's very interesting, but it's crazy what you'll find on the side of a lot of these cemeteries that are adjacent to very large hills or very large ravines, where at the edges they'll have the larger trees that are falling over. And if it's a cemetery that's been around since the 1840s, the 1830s, that chances are not chances are, that tree was a lot smaller back when it was founded. And so there could be a lot underneath it that people don't know about. And we've definitely discovered that on the channel. So yeah, it's interesting, but it is sad. But I didn't really find too much like that. There is some level of destruction in the new episode. Mostly just really interesting stuff. There's a Civil War memorial there. There's the Egyptian Sphinx, and then there's some really cool statue work inside of the mausoleum as well, and just a lot of history. There's also some famous people from the local area that I found out about, and it seems like I located some of their family. I thought that they were buried in the location, but it turns out that they were actually buried in South Dakota, where they were a senator. The town actually, well, I'll let people watch it, but the town had them. It was sort of correctly listed and sort of incorrectly listed as a type of celebrity. He definitely, he basically, he was what they claimed. But if you were to look it up, as I did for you in the video, you would see that it's not exactly the case everywhere. And if that doesn't make sense, just head on over to the 539 Productions channel and watch the brand new episode. That's all I gotta say. Oh, I forgot to do it again. All right, we're gonna do it this time. That's very interesting. 104, yeah, that's quite a while. They're quite old, I guess. Um, yeah, it's definitely hard to get people to visit, but it's not impossible, and people do still visit from time to time. I know, like from personal experience, like um, some of my family members were able to uncover an old 1700s and early 1800s graveyard that was in our family, and they were able to actually go out there, find it, do some work to fix it up, and I'm hoping to even feature it on the 539 Productions channel at some point here in the future. I believe it is out in Maryland, so I got to make it out there at some point here. Why am I not? Okay. There's that. And never. Okay. All right, we're good. So, we should not lose light anytime soon here. Other than the outdoor light, which is pretty much gone. I did have a chance to hang up some more of my plants. I got the rickrack hung up. I got my supposed Christmas cactus, which I'm almost sure that it's a Thanksgiving cactus. I got that one hung up. I got a ton of other cactus hung up. You can't really see them all. Show. I'll probably try to do a stream sometime during the earlier afternoon, and that way I can kind of pick up the camera and show everybody everything and where it's at. But it's so dark right now in that window, and I will eventually kind of get some additional lighting. I've kind of got an idea to do some additional lighting so you can kind of see it even when I do night streams. And I know, of course, the really harsh light coming off of my grow light is not the greatest either, but it's good for the plants, and that's what's the most important right now. So, all right. Half an hour. Well, I guess we'll give our half an hour notification again. Decorative plant. Yeah, well, yeah. Especially with the graveyards and cemeteries, it's often the decorative stuff causes the most damage. So it's not the fact that it's there, it's just the fact that it becomes unkept over the years, really. So I don't want to be anti-decorative plant. I love plants. I'm a big plant person, obviously, and big supporter of landscaping and things like that. And so, I mean, it sounds like such a strange thing to say. But anyway, point being, if it were cared for a little bit better, and I know it's rough over the course of hundreds of years, but yeah, it's just the damage that's done by the unruly stuff is my main issue. But yeah, but it really does do a lot of damage, and it's unfortunate, especially like some of the bushes and things like I've shown in some of the episodes where it's like you look over and you see this really nice, beautiful, healthy bush that's like 20, 30 feet, maybe even more tall, and I guess it's really more of a tree, but and then you walk over and you spread it out a little bit and you look back and there could be 5, 6, 7 headstones just hiding under there that are, from the 1800s, and it's like, because that plant wasn't trimmed at all, like no one even knows that they're there anymore, other than maybe a few like landscaping people. Sorry, I keep moving back and forth. I Until I get my glasses on, I cannot see the comments as well. Dome cedar. Oh, that is. I'm assuming that's probably the one I run into a lot. But yeah, um, it gets kind of frustrating. And then there's some of the smaller ground cover evergreens that can get really, really bad. They're really interesting plants, but they're like super thick and woody. And in a cemetery, when they're spreading out over the course, it's like the one where I found the fake head. Um, it was like this incredible, like, I mean, it would have taken hours of sawing through this thing to remove it. It was like something like 40 or 50 feet wide and like 20 feet like back into the cemetery, and it was probably covering countless headstones, but it was just so impossible to tell at that point what was being hidden, because like it was so thick you couldn't even really get down there to look through a lot of it. I'm gonna have to at some point like bring like a my little snake cam over to that location and see if I can put it down underneath all of the leaves and the branches and actually maybe see what's underneath there. It'd be an interesting use of that camera. So we'll see how that goes. Um, it seems that they've had some issues in the past with people doing some crazy stuff there, but it's not like it's too terrible. Like obviously somebody just played a Halloween prank there and put a fake head there, but yeah, I'm not sure how being that close to houses how much they would dislike somebody shoving a. I'm sure they probably wouldn't know what it is actually, but who knows? Yeah, it's unfortunate when stuff like that happens, but it's kind of I think hard to prevent a lot of times, unfortunately, just because of the. It, obviously, there's so many of these little places sitting around that to kind of guard each and every one of them, or to fence them in, or lock them up, or whatever would be near impossible. But yeah, so there, therein lies the problem, and how do you then prevent it? So yeah, but yeah, I don't find a whole lot of places with the spray paint damage. I have found recently, as you saw at the one of the locations in southern Indiana that I filmed recently, or central Indiana really, that I filmed recently, where they had painted sort of red paint all over the old 1800s graves to make it look like blood, and had potentially toppled over some of the stones. I can't really prove one way or the other if they had toppled over the stones or if the stones had blown over via natural causes. They did look to be pretty far away, a lot of the stones from the bases. So unless it was a tornado, which would not be impossible for the area, it does happen all the time, so it wouldn't be impossible, but unless it was a tornado, I would assume that somebody physically moved it. Oh, probably the one where the ceiling was falling, maybe. But yeah, I think that was construction problems where they had basically hired a contractor that had cut corners a little bit, and because they had cut corners, the roof started to fall in, and so they kind of just sealed off the place permanently to a degree. Like there was a padlock there that you could get in. So obviously some people were still entering. I think there were some newer um, um, burials there or entombments or whatever. Um, so there may have been some need for access from time to time, but yeah, it is kind of crazy that all that can happen and then nothing gets done about it. They just kind of put a lock and chain on a place. But I mean, again, you never know. It's like these places often change ownership so often that it's hard to tell who's done what or who's tried to do what or what happened, and how much money does each place have, you know. I haven't really worked much on the car. I got to get a new battery for it here. I'll probably do that in a few weeks here once the holidays are over, and then get it back out on the road. But it's still sitting pretty much in the same place. But it's got the new headlights are all installed, and um, everything's going pretty well. I mean, I've been slowly fixing the interior problems, um, getting brand new parts in there, and then I just gotta upgrade my interior kind of computer system so I have full navigation and all that fun stuff. So, but it's just a time thing, and it's expensive, so I'm kind of trying to spread it all out, especially getting paint and things like that. It's obviously not as expensive to do it this way, but I'm definitely not doing something that's super cheap, so it's definitely gonna take some time to get it all completed. But I think it'll be really cool once it gets all done. It's definitely bad here, but I just got my booster. I think just about 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks as of. No, I think it's been more. I think it's been like 3 weeks, so I'm like fully protected now. And I still just wear my mask anyway. I don't really. I figure it's. I've gotten my booster. I've gotten my flu shot. It's winter. People are stuck indoors. Viruses spread a lot easier. You know, I figure I'm just gonna keep my mask on anyway for the moment, just to say screw it and protect myself against anything. Because anything that kind of gets transmitted airborne, having that fiber kind of protection, right? Cloth protection. I guess same thing. It's a fiber, but having that protection in front of your face is going to help, and help prevent you from spreading it to someone else, which is what it means to be part of society. But yeah, I don't think our numbers are great. I've kind of I haven't really paid attention to specific numbers recently, but it doesn't look great. So, that was an interesting noise. Excuse me, sorry. I can't hit the mute fast enough on this one. I hope that didn't destroy everybody's ears, especially the headphones users out there. The wind's starting to pick up again. The whole building just shifted. Well, not shifted, but I could hear it. But oh yeah. So to anyone out there who hasn't watched it yet, brand new episode on 539 Productions. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate that. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you go check it out. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Let me know what you like in the comments. Since notifications rarely seem to work anymore, we'll just be the notification service for YouTube tonight, and we'll give them out here. So youtube.com/539 Productions, the main channel in the 539 experience. This being our second channel here. One of a few different social media accounts that you can check out in the 539 family, excuse me. So yeah, make sure to head on over to the 539 Productions channel. Again, if you're on a computer, you can probably just open a new tab. If you're in the app, you'll have to click away for a little bit, but that's okay because the stats really don't matter as much over on this channel as they do on the 539 Productions channel. So if you bounce out for a little bit, watch the episode, and come back, that's absolutely fine. I'd appreciate you doing so. So no worries. We'll be here for a little while longer, committing to at least the hour mark. It probably is not. I know the algorithm isn't going to treat me well, especially with the boring title that I put up. So I really am not expecting much out of the stream, but I just wanted to come and hang out for a little bit with a few people and let everybody know what I was doing. Did I blow the headset off. My apologies. My apologies. Yeah, I realized how much of a hassle it was going to be. I was going to actually do the full-on setup tonight, like I've been saying I was going to do, and set up my OBS and everything so I could use the other camera and actually put up stuff on the screen to kind of advertise the new episode on, well, that was a weird way to say it, the new episode on 539. And I realized that it was going to be a real pain and take a while to get it done. So I figured I might just do that afterwards instead, and just do this for right now instead of making everybody wait. Not that we're doing anything super interesting anyway, but yeah. But hopefully, I'm not sure if we're going to be, probably won't be on the road again before, I'm not sure, we might be on the road again before the new year, probably not before Christmas. Again, like I've been saying a few times before, I am trying to set up a few collaborations here and there. It's been a little bit slow in getting things planned, just because I don't really know when I can head out on a really big road trip. So we'll kind of play it by ear as we're going forward. But I'll make sure to keep you guys updated. But I am trying to plan out a little bit bigger of a road trip to again work alongside some people that I've worked with before, and maybe even make a few new connections here along the way. We'll see how it goes. But again, I would like to head out west again and hit the Las Vegas area again and do the California area again. That would be really neat. So that's probably going to happen here pretty soon. Yeah. But for the moment, I am here in the Midwest, and I'll be doing some local filming over the next few weeks. So I'll also be releasing some new content up on Instagram, as I've been doing since the last stream as well. So if you haven't checked out my Instagram page in a while, make sure to do that. I have some cool still photography up there, including some eventual film photography that will be making its way back. I do have some actual full-on medium format photography on the Instagram account. Not very much of it. I think like 2 photos maybe. But one of the few slides that I have from my last time that I worked with my medium format Holga, which medium format, to anybody that doesn't know, is just, think of it as a square film that's bigger than 35 millimeter, if to anybody that even remembers 35 millimeter. So old-fashioned film, but it's still used to this day, so it's not really old-fashioned. Especially in the fashion industry, they still use medium format film cameras all the time. They're wonderful, and they're kind of future-proof. So it doesn't matter how wonderful your digital camera is, the quality of medium format film and a really sharp lens will far exceed the quality of your digital camera for probably a long time to come. I would love to do some still photo discussions sometime. Just would depend what it was. I've taken so many of them, it'd be hard for me to just come up with anything. But if anybody ever has any questions about my still photography experience, I'd be happy to dive into that. Hey there, Kool-Aid. Welcome. Yeah, I'm not going to be on too long tonight, but yeah, just like I said, the watch party for the 539 Productions channel. So yeah, if you haven't checked out that, make sure to check it out. It's over there waiting, ready to go. And again, to everybody out there, I will say real quick, and it's not a plug for the new episode, but I will say again, Tuesdays and Saturdays now from here on out. Shouldn't be having any gaps. So I get into a little bit of the tombstone symbology. I try to point out different things a lot with like the different fraternal orders. Yeah, that's right. This has been a couple in a row now. Um, yeah, I've been trying to do more recently too, so hopefully we'll have a lot more in the future. But yeah, I do like spotting different things like the Mason symbology and the different variations of the Masons, like the Shriners and was it the Order of the Eastern Star, things like that. Um, and then of course there's the different meanings behind like the birds and the hands and um, uh, lots of tombstones like the display of the tree of life um, and then there's like your more famous style markers, not necessarily symbology, but like I always comment on the Woodmen of the World or Woodmen of America markers, which I believe originated in Michigan, and that's really interesting too. And then, of course, I also love to see the on a lot of the older 1800s stones. You'll see pretty elaborate, long, either poetry, sometimes Bible verses, um, all kinds of things, and it's something that's not very common anymore. It seems to be more simple to the point. Um, and back then there used to be a lot of thought into like what kind of long form poetry could we put on here? What sort of story could we tell about this person's life? And not to say that that doesn't happen now. It absolutely does, but I feel like it happened a lot more during the 1800s. It's almost like every little country graveyard that I ever come across, you'll find like, this old decaying stone with like this paragraph or multi-paragraph, you know, poem on the side of it that's almost barely visible anymore. But someone, sat there and took the time to engrave it all the way back then, sometimes, 100+ years ago. And it's kind of interesting to see, not only what was important to that person in their life, but also that artist's work that is still visible to this day. Because, it's not just about that person that it's memorializing. Somebody made that artwork too, and it's just kind of interesting to think about and interesting to see. So, and sometimes they were things that were mass produced, and sometimes there were things that were made just for that person. So, yeah, and it's looking again into a time that was right about at the edge, especially in a lot of my stuff. It wasn't so far away that there wasn't like photographs of what was going on, but it's like right at the edge, so it's still kind of this mystery to the history of it, that some things were lost. It's not like now where every single event that happens gets recorded and recorded multiple times with multiple opinions and you know back then there wasn't a lot of that. There was, and to a certain degree, there was a lot of newspapers and a lot of different means of communication going on still, but there's still some of that. It's like not every place you go to can you just hop on Google and be like, okay, well, what were these people's lives like? What let's see the photos. Not that you can't do that, you absolutely can a lot of times, but like sometimes it's just. Sometimes I've even found places that aren't even listed on. It's like you find these really cool apps and websites like Find a Grave or things like that, and you can find these hidden little graveyards all over. But it's like then again, I've found places that aren't even listed on there because it's like they aren't necessarily listed in any historical documentation because sometimes they were just little family plots at the back of somebody's cornfield in the woods or somewhere peaceful, and so it's not always even listed in the history books. So, yeah, but yeah, I do get into some of the symbology. I'm not an expert. I'm not trying to really be an expert. I don't. I've never really claimed. I do enjoy exploring a lot of these places and finding them, and I kind of treat it as a sort of a, like I said, a travel series. But I have been trying to focus a little bit more on what people kind of traditionally like in the style of videos, as in cemetery slash graveyard videos. You know, occasionally reading names, getting closer looks at dates and things like that. So I have been doing a little bit more of that, but I do kind of treat it somewhat like a travel series. I'm not specifically only going there, you know, to document, but also to document my own experience, you know, seeing these places sometimes for the first time. Just road trips just in general, and then you know some of my older content revolved around like, you know, different styles of content, obviously abandoned stuff and things like that, and it just sort of fell in line because a lot of times we would be out there in the country and see these little places, and it was like, well, why not try documenting some of this, because this also falls into that category. You know, it's man-made, so it's urban. It's definitely urban exploration. A lot of the places are not used anymore, so they are abandoned places in many ways, and some of them are literally abandoned in the sense that some of them are hidden to this day and are not taken care of. They're not listed. You know, it's not like you would drive by on the road and see a sign that says, "Hey, you know, 1,000 feet back behind that farmer's field, uh, you know, down what, if you didn't know what you're looking at, you would think is a line of trees, but what really is an abandoned road. There's this little 1800s graveyard, and it, you know, it's just some of these places, you know, there's just none of that. So it's really interesting, and I think it just kind of falls in line with that urban exploration and somewhat of what the channel used to be. And then, of course, YouTube became new YouTube, and new YouTube doesn't like variety. It only likes one little thing, and so it latched on to cemeteries and graveyards, and so I've been kind of just focusing on that ever since. But it was initially just about the travel and I've always enjoyed. I like travel and I like going places that are far away, but I also love the back roads and love places that are out of the way from the sort of populated, more touristy type areas. And so I've always been interested in that sort of thing, and that's been something I've done well before I was into YouTube. And so I wanted to continue that as part of my journey here on YouTube. Yeah, it's definitely a curiosity things. Yeah, and that's part of the reason I don't necessarily just go into a straight up documentarian style. You know, here's exactly when this place was started, here's the history of it. You know, I'll go through and I'll find some interesting things, and I'll look up the history when I get back, and I'll put some information on the screen. But at the same time, it's about travel and it's about discovery and it's about curiosity. And it's like if you see something in the video and you're really interested in it, and that encourages you to look it up and learn about it, then I think that's a great part of the experience as well. Because, you know, like I said, I consider myself to be a traveler. I like to go places, but I don't like to do touristy type stuff. I'm not into big theme parks. I'm not into, you know, just hanging. I love the beach, but I'm not just into hanging out on a beach. I'm not, you know, it's like when I want to, if I plan a trip, I have an experience in mind that I want to have that I can't have where I was when I first began the trip. And so, you know, I wanted to bring that kind of into what I was doing, even though I was starting to become more and more narrow in my type of content because of the new YouTube algorithm. So yeah, that's why I've kind of continued to do it this way. So I don't want to make it too much like a production you'd see on like PBS or something like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I want it to be different from what the traditional media style is, but at the same time still be educational and historical and interesting and fun too, and where it's not just about just learning about history or whatever, but also is about having a really interesting experience in a place that not many people have been to and not many people know about. You know, so almost coming up on that hour. Yeah, I probably definitely should have named it a little bit more interesting of a title. Unfortunately, I think I kind of screwed myself over. I'm not sure that the internet quite knows. At least not enough of them know yet. Now, there's a lot of them, but not enough of them know what a 539 watch party even means. So, yeah, I think I kind of screwed myself a little bit with that one. I probably should have at least put something in there about the plants or the travel or something else, but oh well, that's fine. I appreciate all of you for being here, though. I probably will end up ending it after the hour because there's like, it's not very many of them. There's like 2 or 3 of these little fungus gnats that came out of, I think, the fern. But for whatever reason, I think it's because of all the light in this area. There's like 3 monitors on, a grow light, like a lamp, and like all kinds of LEDs. And so it's like they keep coming up and then they'll swarm my face and then fly away. But I think one by one, hopefully they'll end up heading into the pitcher plant and become plant food. So until then, they're sort of starting to irritate me. Yeah, marble's not good. Granite is a lot better. I believe quartz is decent. If I don't know if they make headstones out of quartz or not. I know they make countertops out of quartz, and it seems to be more resilient and cheaper than marble. But I don't know. Also rumored to attract spirits. That's what I hear. I have no experience with that, but I thought that was interesting. It's like I wonder how much be interesting metric to take a survey and see how many houses replaced their countertops with quartz countertops and then had increased spirit activity in their house. So if you got quartz countertops and now you're seeing ghosts all the time, now you know why. Limestone melts. I think everything melts eventually. If it doesn't burn first. But I think potentially you mean like erosion type melting. This limestone is great for making caves. The water can take the lime and dissolve it. What in the world? Like a piece of dirt. So yeah. Alright, I'm gonna give it about 5 more minutes here and see if things pick up. If not, and again, I will announce new episode on 539 Productions. Go watch it if you haven't. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Leave me a comment if you do. Let me know what you thought of it. Spirit Activity Jack Daniels. It might be it could be the Spirit Activity of false reports. Jack Daniels and Jack and Jimmy ghost hunting. There we go. The home of false ghost hunting. Uh, yeah, this area is a big limestone area, but I don't know exactly what that means in terms of ghost hunting and all that. But it'd be interesting to see what the limestone. We were talking about caves. I was thinking quartz. I was looking up the other day what state had the most amount of quartz mining versus what state had the most amount of ghost sightings reported, and I don't think they actually lined up with each other. So it's not apparently, if it is important in any way, it's not super important apparently, because otherwise I think they would line up exactly with each other, and they do not. So, but I guess some sightings could go unreported as well. Oftentimes, especially in the fringes of science, things go unreported because people are afraid of embarrassment or that they won't be taken seriously. Oh, yeah, acid rain is something that I often don't think of. Favorite Christmas movie? I don't really get into Christmas movies too much myself. I always did like, it's just a Christmas Story, right? The shoot, don't, you're gonna shoot your eye out. That one, I'm pretty sure. But I haven't seen that in a long time. And then I don't know, anything that's kind of poking fun at how serious America and a lot of the world takes the holidays. Anything on that level. Hey there, Valerie. Appreciate it. Thank you. Oops. I don't know if I just paused there for a minute. I accidentally opened up a YouTube menu I did not intend to open. But welcome to the live, Valerie. Good to have you tonight. Christmas Vacation. Oh, yeah, that one's pretty good. A Christmas Carol. Oh, yeah, yeah. I've seen that one a few different times. Lots of angels getting their wings. I need to take a vacuum cleaner through here now. I had a near accident with a succulent. And I saved it, but all the top dressing exploded all over the floor, so there's like lava rock everywhere now. So I keep feeling it crunching into the bottom of my feet, so I apologize if I keep looking down constantly. I know this stream is slightly more annoying than the rest. But again, just a short hangout stream to announce the new video out on 539 Productions and take a few questions, hang out for a little while with some people. The Hasserot Angel, is that the Cleveland, Ohio Angel? If so, I've been meaning to go check it out. But Cleveland's about a good 5-hour road trip. But that's not a problem. I'm not sure if I'm going to do live hangouts or not. I am going to, like I've been saying a few times, at some point, I was thinking about doing it tonight. I might just still do it later tonight, depending on how busy I am for the rest of the night. But I do want to start the Twitch up and do kind of a dual stream. So So we can have some people kind of popping back and forth or doing whatever. You can have both streams open at once or whatever the heck you want to do. But I am going to try and do that at some point because, like I was saying, with the new way that YouTube works, I'm beginning to believe less and less that YouTube is better than Twitch and streaming. And if it was, I think it was only for a brief moment. Or if you already have a large following, I think YouTube is really good for streaming. But like on this channel that's been so slow growing to begin with, I think it's kind of a joke to continue doing some of the streaming over here. The Hangout streams, the question Q&A streams, stuff like that, I'll still be doing over here for quite a while. I might do Hangout streams on those days, depending. It just depends. I also might do some of the live premieres or whatever, actually on 539 Productions, so I can kind of hang out and chat with people. Yeah, I believe it looks like it's crying. I think it's just minerals over the years that have fallen or have accumulated from like rain. It might have been actually made to look like it's crying though. Yeah, I'm hoping they improve it. There's no signs that they're trying. And like I said, the notification issue still seems to be a big thing across. I mean, even the bigger accounts are saying that no one's getting notified. But then a lot of the smaller accounts are getting just hammered because they're not getting shown in the homepage either. So it's not like when you see your recommendations, a lot of times if there's a creator that you're following, even if you have your notifications turned off, you'll see in your recommendations that they had a new video come out. Well, often the case is with smaller creators or mid-sized creators, that's not really happening. So it's like the videos are getting buried. And I've noticed it a lot recently because things that were really good ideas with YouTube, like a year ago, just don't work anymore. Like, I recently released a video doing the gravesite of the founder of Kellogg's. Well, according to YouTube law, or the rules of YouTube and making a popular video, if you release a video that has a title in it or a word in it that is is being used a lot on the platform because it might be in the news or have a lot of other popular channels using the term, then it often gets picked up and gets a lot of views because people search for one thing and then see your adjacent video suggested to them. So Kellogg's has been in the news quite a bit recently. There's also been a few different really popular channels do some adjacent content where they were doing like some recipes or like Kellogg's cereal recipes or things like that. And so there's been millions and millions of views going around the internet on Kellogg's, and my video bombed. So meaning that YouTube ignored what was the algorithm rule to boost videos that are adjacent to popular terms, and they instead ignored it completely. Same thing with like my other celebrity. There was the Muhammad Ali grave. There was the Colonel Sanders grave. All of them did terribly, and all because YouTube is pretty much suppressing almost 100% of anything that they think could be offend anybody, I guess. Even to the point where it's ridiculous. It's like, okay, you can be a news channel and talk about the news, but if a regular channel talks about the news, then YouTube will suppress it. So, yeah. Anyway, with that being said, and 3 people watching, and obviously the YouTube algorithm doing its best to suppress this, we're going to go ahead and end it. You guys have a great night. Appreciate you being here. Watch the new episode if you haven't watched it already. I'll be back here at some point to do the dual Twitch stream, whether it's tonight or It might be tomorrow night. Depends on how things go. So, yeah. But yeah, on a channel with more than 1,000 followers and who regularly has had well over 30 people in live streams. Yeah, I'm not dealing with it tonight. So have a good night, everybody. We'll be back when YouTube learns how to do live streams again.